If you're suffering from a tight and stiff lower back, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you a stretch and mobility routine that you can do in a day-to-day basis. This is going to take you between 20 to 25 minutes daily, but by following these exercises, you can maximize your flexibility, mobility, and reduce your lower back pain. All right, guys, the first exercise that we're going to do for the stretches is child pose, which means you're going to sit back on the knees. If you find this is difficult to do it, you got to do it in bed. Put some cushion around between your thighs. That does the job to get you to this position. We're going to go down to the child pose. You don't want to go to too much stretch. You want to just get down to the point that your head is comfortable. In this position, you can relax the shoulder and move the arms slowly forward. But your hip is always down as far as you can hold it. From here, you want to come up to this position and back down again. Cool. Hold it there for 5 to 10 seconds and back up again. You're going to push it back. Hold it there 5 to 10 seconds and move forward. Now, after a few repetitions, what you can do, you can basically progress this exercise to 2 movements. One is child pose, and the next move is back extension or Cobra, which means you want to go from that to this. Hold it there for 5-10 seconds. Now, for those of you guys who can't get to this range, you can actually try it on the floor and come up to this point. You don't necessarily need to go too high. Just up to here is good. And back down. Now, if you have spinal stenosis, you don't want to do back extension. You can avoid this exercise, but the other type of back injury, you should be good to go and try these both movements. Now, how many times you can do this? You can try this for 3 sets of 5 to 8 repetitions. Let's go together. 3, 4, 5, and you can stay as long as you can. Now, for initially, that basically can be done for 2 to 3 sets. What we're going to do next is a little bit of hip opener, which we call it frog stretch, which is literally similar to what we do on the child pose, but your knees are much more wider when you're doing this movement. And we try to kind of like lean more forward and get more of basically external rotation of the hip. Yeah? I'm going to stay there. Then from there, you can slowly lean forward. And you can immediately feel that the hip are much more stretched. You don't go too far. You just go within this range. Here. And back. You can sit back on it if you feel it's comfortable. You can be on the elbow. That's good enough. You can just do some shuffling here, breathe in and out. Let's try this for 5 repetitions. Come up. 1. Back down. 2. 3. Work within your own range. 4. And 5. Excellent. Now, if you find that's too much, you can narrow that and do the same thing with the minimal range. and 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you bring your foot together, is less stretch. If you bring the toes out, which means if your feet are below your knee, you have much more stretch. Now, as a beginner, start with the foot underneath of the hip, and then open it up slowly, and you get much more stretch within the groin muscle and the hip. Excellent. From here, guys, we're gonna go to cat-cow movement, which is a very standard mobility that gets your low back and upper back mobilized. As you can see, hands underneath of the shoulder, and the knees are underneath of the hip. I'm trying to first go to a dip, neck up, and push up. Hold there for a few seconds. We're gonna do maybe 5 reps of this. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cool. Take your time. Move around a little bit. Back on it. Just make sure that you go within your own range that feels comfortable. 1. When you push up, you can push with your hands, lock the elbows, get the full range up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Brilliant. Now start with 2 repetitions, 2 sets basically of 5, and then whenever you got comfortable, you can progress it to 3 sets of, let's say, 5 to 8 repetitions. The following move that we're going to do on the same position is rotation of the thoracic. You're going to be on the same position. If you need some pad for the knee, this best position would be in the bed, that less pressure is on the knee. I'm going to go in and open up the arms. In, open up the arms. Now, for those that who has some sort of shoulder injury, if they can use the arms, hands here, and bring the elbows up. 2, we do 5 on either side. 3, 4, and 5. Cool. Take your time. Bring it out. Change side now. And go with this arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cool. Change arms. The elbow version. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great stuff. Now, similarly, the range depends on how much movement and mobility you have. Don't force yourself too much. Just go within range that feels comfortable. Make sure that you're breathing in and out, you're not holding your breath, and then you can progress it gradually. Now, we're going to move on to the next move, which is a hip stretch again. Like it stretch your quads. They believe this is stretch the hip flexor. We still don't know really does stretch the hip flexor or not. Hip flexor is quite a deep muscle underneath a couple of layers of muscle, fats, and other muscle. Now, we'll try to just use it as a hip opener. You're going to be in a kneeling position. Kneel down. If you find that knee, it feels uncomfortable, you can cushion it. We want to lean forward. Hold the stretch there. I feel really nice on my groin. Now, between your 2 foot has to be a kind of shoulder width apart space, which means they're not too narrow. You open up this foot outside. Yeah, and initially you just want to be in that position. If you find it's comfortable, you can lean forward and shift your weight down in this leg on the right. Hold it there 10-15 seconds. I can feel this nice stretch on the left side and some of the quads here. 4, 3, 2, and relax. I switch leg. Bring foot out there. Cool. You want to open up the hip. Stretch it there. There's a nice movement there. Now, for some of you who are not very mobile, you might be up to there and you feel good, and more it's too difficult. Now, in comparison, some of you guys might be able to hold the other leg and be able to do the same stretch, which is a more advanced version. Now, one of the simplest way that you can basically progress this, using this arm and bringing these arms up, which means your whole body kind of tilted to the left. Hold it there. You get more of your basically obliques, the side. A really nice stretch. Hold it there 10-15 seconds. And repeat the same thing again on the other side. This is a really nice basically mobility work. You can do them at home daily. It does the magic. Get you moving. Try again. That tilt doesn't necessarily need to be made right away. Work around it. When you got comfortable, then you can push to that, because it usually stretches the side of the back great for any level, but work around your own range. Now, if you find it's easy, you shift the knees forward, you get much more range out of it. Breathing is essential. You don't want to rush it. 10-15 seconds, and we can go from there. Now, before we load on in the back, we're going to do a very basic hip opener. In a seated position. This is quite gentle but very effective. We call it hip 90-90. Feet a little bit wider than your shoulder. You want to drop the knee in, and you can hear some cracking in the back. It's very nice. You drop it in. You want to do 10 repetitions of these guys, but it's not about how quick you finish it. You want to just work around yourself. For some of you guys, this can be quite difficult and you need to lean more back. That's fine. When you got more comfortable, you can shift your body more forward and get much more of tension on the hip, which means the rotation is all come from the hip. Now, I show you from a different version, basically view. Take your time and make sure that you kind of like, if you feel comfortable, lean forward and get more rotation on the hip. We do this for 8 to 12 repetitions gradually. When you got more comfortable, then you can basically increase the speed of it. But again, sometimes the purpose of doing these movements are to switch off and just have some sort of like mobility work through the day after a long day of work and desk. If you have a stiff back, this is hugely help you to reduce the pain, improve the mobility, and get you back on track. We're gonna lie on the back. Yep. The first move that we wanted to do, we want to do the hip drops. It's one of my favorite moves. It's really comfortable. You shift both knees to one side, leave them there for a few seconds, and then the other side. You really open up the hip and the lower back. You can be as relaxed as possible. If you find you can't go that far, you can put a pillow on either side to give it a little bit of support, guys. It's nice to have a comfortable mobility work rather than too much of tension. If too much tension is there, sometimes you can't relax, you tense, and that defeats the purpose of what you're doing. If you want to stay a little bit longer, you can stay there. You can feel all the stretch around here in the lower back. Drop it to the other side. Let it go. Now, mix that exercise with a nice hip stretch. Bring one knee up, bring it to the side. This is kind of progressing that movement on one side. I'm stretching this side. Hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Do the same thing with the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. We do one more round. Open up the shoulder, drop it to the side, and other way. There's no rule, guys. If you need to stay longer in one side, feel free to do it. I'm just trying to give you like 20 to 25 minutes of like stretches and body work that can be done within your day. And in some days, if you don't have enough time, you could probably do half of the workout and build up. Go back to the hip stretch. You do it one more round. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Let's go back here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. That's kind of like a very gentle and nice and relaxed move that keep me going for a minute. Now, we're gonna move to the next exercise, which is a posterior tilt, which means we want to try to do the same thing that we did with cat-cow on the ground. It's basically cat-cow on the floor. We want to tilt the pelvis back, keep this gap full, and don't let your hands get in. Now, and do the opposite, which means open up the gap and push it down. Push it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, open it up. Relax there, and back on the posterior tilt. You have to be able to breathe while you're holding the posterior tilt. That's hugely help you to maximize your coordination. And relax. 3, 2, now push back. 5, 4, 3, 2, open it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, now push back again. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Back at it. We do one more round. 4, 3, 2, and relax. Excellent. This routine, guys, it can be as long as you want. You can add on extra sets on top of it. But as you can see, we're not trying to rush things. We want to go slow, control, and build up movement. Make sure that to put maybe extra time if you need so, and build up gradually. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you need further assistance in regard to your injury, you can always book an online consultation with me with the link below, and we can go through your case and look at what you can do in regards to your injury. If you would like me to create this video more in a weekly basis, I would like you to guys do me a favor and support my channel by subscribing my channel for my weekly update, and also like and share this video with your friends and family who may watch this video. I really appreciate your help. Until next week, all the best.